be expelled and banned from ever claiming asylum there. The controversial policy is set to be announced later today, and it comes just days ahead of the first summit between the leaders of France and Britain in 5 years. The crossings continue despite tough laws and tens of millions of dollars being spent. Rights groups have criticized the proposed legislation, saying it will lead to thousands of refugees being locked up like criminals.
I cannot see any prospect of this stopping people from crossing the channel. As we said, the Rwanda deal had no impact on people crossing the channel. Deterrence in general, for the last 10 years, our government has followed policies based on deterrence, and none of them have had any impact on people crossing the channel. So why should this be any different? Because people who are genuine refugees should not be risking their lives to get to our country. And the scaremongering over the numbers is just that, scaremongering. People talk about 65,000 people possibly crossing the channel next year as if that was the most terrifying thing that could happen. But actually, last year, we gave 230,000 visas to people from Ukraine and 150,000 to people from Hong Kong. So if we had to give 65,000 visas to people from the whole of the rest of the world next year, it would not break our country.
Now, there's huge disruption in France, where hundreds of thousands of workers are striking again over the government's plan to increase the retirement age. Most rail services have been stopped and many schools closed. Today marks the 6th day of strikes and protests since mid-January, with unions saying it would be the biggest yet as they aim to bring a halt to government plans to raise the pension age from 62 to 64.
This strike has really impacted us. All the departure times have changed. Trains have been cancelled. I know it's for a good cause, but...
Of course it affects me because I need to go to work like everyone else. I don't like being stressed in commuting, but it's important. I would say it's of utmost importance even, because it's about our pensions. That's what we work for all our life, so I'm not one of the protesters, but I support them for what they do.
I had made arrangements in order to be able to travel this morning, but I didn't notice the Ariadi suburban transport line was shut, so I'm now forced to go back home. I think this strike is a completely legitimate one, and I hope this will have a positive impact, so I support the movement.
At least 5 people have been killed in floods after days of torrential rain in Malaysia. Tens of thousands of people have been forced to leave their homes, and more rain is forecast for the south and east of the country, with the risk of further flooding.
Now, elsewhere in the world, Japan's space agency has said the launch of its new rocket failed after the second stage engine did not ignite. It's the latest setback for the H3, Japan's first new medium-lift rocket for 3 decades. It's been presented as a cheaper alternative to SpaceX's Falcon 9 for launching commercial and government satellites into Earth's orbit. The government called the test failure extremely regrettable. This was the moment when the agency issued a command to destroy the vehicle.
All systems are go for launch. Main engine start. Solid boosters ignition and lift off.
第3号搭載した H3 ロケット天気1号機は2023年3月7日午前10時37分55秒に種子島宇宙センターから打ち上げられました。
We have a successful liftoff for H3 launch vehicle test flight with 803 from JAXA Tanegashima Space Center at 10:37:55 a.m. on March 7th, 2023, Japan Standard Time.
ロケットは正常に飛行中、地上局のロケット追尾状況も正常。
The H3 flight is on course and the ground station.
13、15、17、19。SRB3 分離。
Solid boosters separation. This is an announcement from the Takesaki Range Control Center to all launch operators and personnel. The second stage engine ignition has not been confirmed yet. We continue to confirm the situation. Our destruct command has been transmitted to H3 because there was no possibility of achieving the mission. We are confirming the situation.
You're watching Newsday. We have plenty more still ahead. Please stay with us.
I've been running my business on my own, trying my best to get it to the next level, but I really need some help to get ahead. I know just what to do, I'll vote it for my loans, overdraft, step by step to my dream business we vote. Salary earners, entrepreneurs, get your loans with no collateral. Quick sign up, zero paperwork, step by step to your dream business we vote.
Vault is available to individuals, SMEs, and corporate customers. Download Vault by Polaris Bank from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store to get started today.
Vault is the answer. What is really happening in Akamata market? It seems these people don't want the election to hold.
I hope you're broadcasting to the world must hear.
No. Is that how you people share sensitive news like that without verifying it? If I may ask, which news platform published the news?
Jojo sent it though.
Jojo? Is that not the same Jojo that posted a fake election result the last time that almost caused a riot?
You know they forget something.
No. In this election season and after, one must be very careful. Or do you want to set the country on fire?
Haba.
Fake news is a threat to a free and fair election and to peace and security. So, before you share any news, check to be sure the source is credible. Check if there are supporting credible sources. Read beyond the headlines. Check the author. Check the date. Check your biases. Ask an expert or send to a fact-checking organization for confirmation. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Centre for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
The 2023 general election is the second general election since the passage of the Not Too Young to Run Act.
About 28.6%, which is over 4,000 young candidates between 25 to 35 years of age, are contesting for various elective offices across Nigeria. These young men and women with competence, capacity, and character need your support to win.
The 2023 election is an election of rebuilding this great nation and restoring hope through our vote. Imagine a government with 30% young elected leaders with competence, capacity, and character.
It begins with one vote, your vote. These young candidates are deciding Nigeria's future today.
Our future
depends on your vote.
Welcome back to Newsday. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Now, in some local news, leaders of the All Progressives Congress in Ohaji Ebema, Oguta and Oru West Federal Constituency have debunked claims by the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party that elections did not take place in some parts of the federal constituency. The APC leaders urged the people to disregard what they called false narratives to discredit the exercise. Well, Arise correspondent Saturday Ochia compiled this report.
Stakeholders of the All Progressive Congress in Ohaji Egbema, Uguta and Oru West Federal Constituency are holding this meeting to debunk reports by the opposition parties that elections did not hold in some areas, and yet results were announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission.
There was an election done, duly conducted, results collected, and announced in my federal constituency of Ohaji Egbema, Uguta, and Oru West. And such results were announced by the relevant persons in various wards of the federal constituency.
Our federal constituency, people are fed up with a representative who is always on the run from the law and legal processes and propose to contest elections as a suspect on policemen. We urge the public to disregard the said video clip as a product of election losers.
The election that is being talked about took place, and I'm still very surprised why Title Oju should be disturbing the whole federal constituency. Before today, since 1999, it is an agreement that no man will represent us twice, and we demonstrated it in every election. Same was equally done to him. We said, if you go, you get out. He went and we removed him. Let another person go. That's why we have given our mandate to Honorable Eugene Okechukwu.
Some INEC ad hoc staff who conducted the elections in some parts of Ohaji Egbema, Oguta and Oru West federal constituency shed more light on the controversy.
On that day, we had some logistics problem. We didn't go on time, but eventually we went to NMP for the election, and the election did take place in NMP, where I supervised.
On the day of election went as planned, even though we didn't move very early because of some security reasons and concerns. But after a while, we eventually went for the exercise, and election was held. So it went peacefully, and people came, they voted.
Controversies have trailed the election in Ohaji Egbema, Oguta and Oru West federal constituency, with opposition parties crying foul that the exercise was compromised.
Now, the Rivers State coordinator of the APC Presidential and Independent Campaign Council, that's Augustine Wokocha, says the state chapter of the party did not receive 2 billion naira from Governor Nyesom Wike to prosecute the victory of President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as alleged by some members of the party. Wokocha made the refutal at a media conference in Port Harcourt. Arise correspondent Andy Omano reports that other members of the APC faction spoke on what happened at the presidential election and the prospects of Saturday's governorship election.
The refutal may not be unconnected with unverified reports that Governor Wike allegedly released over 2 billion naira to enable the Rivers State chapter of the APC organize the presidential campaign and work for the electoral victory of the president-elect. Recall a member of the Presidential and Independent Campaign Council, Tony Okosha, had said the state chapter of the APC got both financial and human resources from Governor Wike, revealing that his contributions aided the landslide victory of the president-elect in Rivers State. But Okosha says Okosha only spoke for himself, as it would have not been possible for a single individual to ensure victory for the APC president-elect.
Credit for the victory of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC in Rivers State belong to all Rivers persons who turned out to vote for the candidate of our party, and to the dynamic campaign structure that carried the message of renewed hope to all the nooks and crannies of Rivers State.
Okosha also punctured the position canvassed by Okosha that members of the Rivers State APC would vote the state's PDP governorship candidate to reciprocate Governor Wike's good gesture.
We implore all Rivers residents who are eligible voters to turn up en masse and reject the invitation of Chief Tony Okocha to support the extension of the rascality that the Rivers State government of today represents, and to massively come out, vote, and insist that their vote counts on the 11th of March 2023 for a better Rivers State.
Martins Ledum Babari is a member, Contact and Mobilization, Tinubu Shetima Presidential Campaign Council in the South-South region.
As member of APC, most of us in APC were not party to the emergence of our candidate. He was foisted on us. You know the history. We were told that 16 persons sat in a room in Abuja to foist him. I bought form to be delegate in that primaries. I was shot at. A lot of us, we had no say, and so for us, the candidate is not our candidate. You know, he's a candidate of one man, and that one man did all he could to sabotage Tinubu's success in Rivers State. So, to that extent, some of us don't feel beholden to him or to his candidate, because that one man did not, at the presidential rally we had here, did you see him? He didn't come. He actually told his people to vote for Abubakar Atiku.
Yes, the events of the last election is enough to discourage. But people should come out and vote because it is about their future. People should come out and vote, insist their votes should count. People should come out and vote to change the bad leadership. People should come out and evil tries when good men do nothing. People should come out and vote their choice and put an end to maladministration in Rivers State. Staying at home will make them have a field day. But coming out to vote and ensuring that the votes count will bring the desired change.
With these discordant tunes from the different factions within the Rivers State chapter of the APC, many have concluded that wresting power from the governing PDP and other political parties in the state look an uphill task as days melt into hours before the March 11th governorship elections. From Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, Andy Omano, Arise News.
All right, now following controversies that have trailed the outcome of the presidential and National Assembly elections, the Inspector General of Police is asking his commanders to ensure tensions do not snowball into a full-blown crisis. Usman Alkali Baba made the remark during a meeting in Abuja. Arise Defense and Security correspondent Ferdinand Duroa gives us this report.
The meeting is the first for all strategic police commanders following the presidential and National Assembly elections. It has in attendance Assistant and Deputy Inspectors General of Police, Commissioners and other senior members of the IGP's team. Top of the agenda is to debrief police commanders after the election, to assess the security situation in the country and to perfect plans for the governorship elections. Reviewing police performance in the last elections, the IGP says, unlike previous elections, the police have been widely insulated from accusations, giving credence to its commendable performance.
Out of about 185 major incidents that the police responded to across the country during the election, a total of 203 offenders linked to various electoral process or offences and sundry crimes have so far been arrested, while not less than 18 firearms of various descriptions were recovered from political talks during the exercise. All these cases are at various stages of investigation at the Nigeria Police Electoral Offences Desk, and I assure you all that in due course they will all be concluded and processed to the Legal Department of the Independent National Electoral Commission for possible prosecution.
But with mixed reactions trailing the outcome of the election, the IGP wants the police to take charge of the space and douse any tensions that may arise.
The starting point to this is to ensure that the tension which the process and outcome of the just concluded presidential and the National Assembly session generated as mitigated proactively and well enough to ensure that it does not snowball into a national security breach, nor impact negatively on our democratic achievements.
The IGP further directs all police commissioners to return to their state and convene stakeholders fora to advocate for peace and address post-security threats. Some election observers also recorded incidents of voter intimidation, ballot box snatching, and violence in some polling stations during the last presidential and National Assembly elections. With the governorship elections set for March 11, observers and the electorate will expect better protection from security agencies to enable a safe space for voters to cast their votes. Ferdinand Duroha, Arise News.
You're watching Newsday. We have plenty more still ahead. Please stay with us.
Imagine your wallet can be everything. Well, almost everything your bank is to you. That's exactly what First Money Wallet is. First Money Wallet from First Bank is another swift and seamless way to bank from your mobile phone. It doesn't matter if you have a First Bank account or not. nor the mobile network you use. Everyone can open a First Money wallet, and it's very easy. Your phone number is your account number. With First Money wallet, you can send money using just a phone number, receive money, pay bills, buy airtime and data for yourself or someone else, and check balance. You don't need a bank account at all or BVN to enjoy the boundless possibilities First Money wallet offers. All you need is a registered phone number, and you can fund your wallet easily through your First Bank account or any bank account and debit card. What's more, First Money wallet is highly secure with fingerprint technology and PIN. And when you need cash, just walk up to any First Money agent near you to withdraw money. No smartphone, no wahala. Just dial *894*1# on any phone. So it doesn't matter if you live in the city or the remotest part of the country. With First Money wallet, your transactions are easy, seamless, and secure. Download the First Money wallet app now. Input your phone number and follow the prompts, or simply dial *894*1#. All money now on First Money. You first. First Bank.
34 million hectares of arable land. Over 200 million people. One nation. Home to Africa's fertilizer company. Dangote Fertilizer. Pure urea fertilizer. With one single-minded passion to feed Nigeria. Every bag is a potential, an aspiration to turn this green nation into the biggest food basket of Africa. Dangote Fertilizer.
Great illustrious sons and daughters of Igbo land living in Lagos State, I salute you. A very big kudos to you all for standing by our own Mr. Pitobi at the just concluded polls of 25th February 2023. We the Igbos in Lagos State are left with no other option than to unanimously anticipate 11th day of March 2023 as a glorious opportunity to deliver our ball vote to the man who has identified with us for a very long time. He was the only Lagos politician that visited our people in Ladipo Market when it caught fire in the early days of year 2022. He was also the only politician that visited the amalgamated exco of Alaba International when Lagos hoodlums prevented them from registering to vote. Ndibo, it is time to come out en masse to vote the man qualified and equipped to do the job 100%. Let us give our votes to PDP for governorship election. This message is brought to you courtesy Ndibo Nyogoma Miliono or War Fufu Foundation.
Welcome back to Newsday. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, the Labour Party in Kaduna State has debunked rumours that its governorship candidate Jonathan Asake has stepped down for the PDP governorship candidate, that's Issa Ashiru. The party's governorship candidate Jonathan Asake and the National Secretary Umar Farouk say the party is not in alliance with any party in the state. They enjoined Kaduna residents to come out en masse to vote for Labour Party come March the 11th.
I want to clarify this here, that it is not true. It is complete lies fabricated to undermine the Labour Party and my candidature by the PDP. There is no such time that I have been contacted or my party, the Labour Party, for the purpose of an alliance or stepping down. And so I want to clarify today that the Labour Party and all its organs in the state, from the state to the local government, to the wards, and to the polling units, is fully prepared for the March 11 elections.
Kaduna State have had series of religious crisis, which has been instigated by politicians. The candidacy of Jonathan Asake is a candidacy that is going to bring unity to Kaduna State. It's going to bring peace and harmony and sincerity of purpose, progress, and for the collective interest of the people of Kaduna State. So we call on all peace-loving Kaduna State residents to come out en masse on 11th March to vote for Jonathan Asake and the Labour Party House of Assemblies.
Well, we have with us now Jonathan Asake, and he will be telling us all by himself his affiliation with any other party aside his Labour Party, under which he's vying for the governorship seat in Kaduna State. He will also share with us his manifesto and chances in the race. Good to have you on Newsday. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, it looks, from what we understand, you haven't been approached and you've not accepted any alliance, and you won't be stepping down for the PDP. But there are some allegations or rumors, whichever you'd prefer to call them, that are saying that the APC is giving you 100 million naira to remain in the race. Just wondering if you'd like to clear this up.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Honestly, I was surprised, but not quite surprised, because I know in our claim here, some people will go the extra mile or will overshoot their own way in the name of politics. I just heard it on radio, just like any other person, that I, as a candidate of the Labour Party in Kaduna State, have stepped down for the candidate of the People's Democratic Party. It is not true. We have never had any time that they approached me for any negotiation, and the People's Democratic Party at no time have approached my own party, the Labour Party, for a discussion of such. And so it is a lie. It is outright falsehood. And I am still in the race, and my party is prepared and ready to take it on Saturday, the 11th.
Right, thank you so much for clarifying that.
And of course you ask...
Go ahead. Yes, please do.
Yeah, I have not clarified the next one. The next one is the same lie, still again in the same line with the first, that I have collected money from the APC. Why will I collect money from the APC? For what purpose? But let me just say it here that I have not collected one dime from any political party or a member of any political party, especially a political party that I am set to contest against. And if any one of them making such allegation has any evidence that there is a thing like that, should step forward. I challenge in public and say it. So there is nothing like that. It's all campaign of calumny, blackmail, and falsehood. And I don't know why the PDP is so jittery. It's so afraid to go into the next context. They pride themselves as having made it very well in the presidential election. But we in the Labour Party also sat back. We went to our situation room, and we took our observations on what happened on that fateful Saturday of the 25th in the presidential and National Assembly elections. And we saw the loopholes. We saw what went wrong. We saw what went wrong even with INEC and what went wrong with us. And we have taken steps to address all those loopholes. So they know we are ready. And that is why they are afraid to face the Labour Party in Kaduna State. They know we have the organic followership. And they know, by the grace of God, we will win this election. That's why they want it's a wishful thinking that they want this alliance or the stepping down, and so they cannot get it, so they have resorted to this cheap blackmail and cheap propaganda. It's unfortunate.
Right now, still keeping in line with some of the tactics that you are alleging to be used by the PDP, your National Publicity Secretary did speak out and say that there have been threats on your life and the lives of members of your team from the PDP as well as we count down to this election. Can you give us more insight into some of what you've been going through, aside from the media side and the propaganda side, in terms of your security, what are some of your experiences that you faced?
Even some of our supporters have been, threatened, harassed. When this chief propaganda of our alliance with the PDP went viral on social media and other conventional media, some of our supporters also followed up with the counter propaganda to tell the world that it is not true. And they were bringing out issues that are wrong with the party, why the party is only wishing that another party steps down for them before they can go into contest. And so they started issuing out threats. In fact, one of my supporters in ICT had to, go into hiding because he was being threatened. And that is how they have been threatening, our supporters. You may recall the issue of late Mrs. Victoria Chimtex that was killed in cold blood in Kaura local government, our women leader. And that aroused the anger of the supporters, and even people that were not supporters of the Labour Party decided to join the Labour Party in that local government. And little wonder, that local government, the Labour Party swept everything in that local government because they protected their votes. In fact, a member of the House of Representatives that has been there for over 20 years was removed by the Labour Party. In fact, so the Labour Party won that local government. So you can see that the more these threats are being issued against the Labour Party and our candidature, the more this campaign of calumny and senseless blackmail and outright falsehood is being issued, the more the sympathy is coming into our side. And that is why we know that the people of Kaduna State are ready to just bring about this change. And also, they have listened to us. They have listened to our messages. We have gone around, we have campaigned in all the 23 local governments of the state. We have gone around in all the 255 wards of the state. We have gone around, and the people have heard our messages. We bring messages of hope. We talk to the issues. We don't start criticizing any other person. No, we say this is a problem, and we provide solutions. We key into the style of campaigning of our principal, Mr. Peter Obi. So the difference is just clear. And so they are resorting to all this cheap blackmail. It's unfortunate.
Well, thank you, Mr. Sake. Well, do you have any concerns when it comes to the fact that we have 9 parties that have endorsed the Kaduna PDP candidate? Are you faced by this in any way?
Oh, we don't have any concern at all. When somebody says he wants to, there's a Hausa proverb that says, when somebody says he wants to give you a shirt, check the one on his body. Most of these parties, check their profile, check what is their impact. In the last elections that we had, I'm not saying, well, sometimes it is for the media hype that you can just come out and say, oh, 10 political parties have joined us. We have had several political parties that have approached us and we've been talking together. But we know that is not where the problem is. The problem is not in coming out to tell people that 15 political parties are working with you. The real issue is the followership. And I'm telling you, even with the last presidential and National Assembly elections, the mood on the ground in Kaduna State is different from even the results we saw. The mood is different. And I believe it also the same. It's ditto for on the national stage. The mood of Nigerians, of the outcome of the presidential election, is actually different from what we saw. But time will tell. Only time will tell.
Now, earlier you had made some reference to the fact that you've gone into your Situation Room and you've studied some of the things that may have gone wrong at the presidential election for Kaduna State, for the Labour Party in Kaduna State specifically. Of course, I know you wouldn't let the cat out of the bag, but I'm curious to know what challenges you feel you need to overcome that might win you those votes that you would have needed for the presidential election.
Well, actually, the first one is that the messages from INEC that we all had in our own innocent hearts, we believed everything INEC was telling us about beavers, about going there to vote, and that the votes will be transmitted immediately from that polling unit to a central server. That never happened. And because of that, we believe that, well, we do not have the strength to have our agents in every polling unit. In Kaduna State, we have 812 polling units spread across the 23 local governments of the state. And some of those polling units are far detached and in some of the local governments, especially with the challenge of insecurity. So the resources to be able to organize those areas and have our agents present in those areas and really take care of them so that they can protect our votes were not really sufficient. But we tried to the largest extent. But we believe that if there is going to be a direct transmission, as INEC told us, then we really didn't have to care much about that. But we found out that, oh, the reverse was the case. We were back to the same thing that we have been doing. And we found out that what happened gave room for manipulation. That if you don't have an agent or an agent that is not well trained, then outrightly your votes can go to another party because you are not represented. So that was a great challenge. And then, of course, we know certainly that the central server ceased to work. And so we are studying that if these things will not work, then we go back to where we are coming from so that everybody can go back to the analog stage that we are coming from. We thought we are going to the digital stage, and alas, it was not there.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Sake. Now, you know, there are opinions out there that, you know, you're from Southern Kaduna, and people from the region seem to be saying that you're going to split PDP votes in that region and you don't have a chance of winning the APC. So I'm just wondering, are you saying that when it comes to a potential alliance, that is cast in stone, that it's something you would not consider in spite of this reality?
This is a fallacy. This is a kind of campaign of deceit that has been going on, especially with the PDP. Now, let me tell you, traditionally, from 1999 up to this time, of course, I was there. I was a foundation member of the PDP. Of course, I won election to the House of Representatives in 1999. And so the PDP started with me. And coming from the southern part of the state, from 1999 till today, till the time that the Labour Party emerged, the southern part of the state has always been voting en bloc for the PDP. And so from 1999 to 2015, every governor that ever was in Kaduna State of the PDP had the block votes of Southern Kaduna. And I can tell you also that in 2019, the PDP scored the highest votes in the nation, about 800,000 votes in the whole nation. It came from Kaduna State, not from Rivers, not from Kano, not from Lagos, but from Kaduna State, courtesy the block votes of Southern Kaduna. And of course, you will see that from that year 1999 to 2019 and to 2000 and to today, the PDP has not thought it well enough to zone the position to that part of the state that has been given the block votes for them to win election. And so the Labour Party has graciously done that and given this ticket to the southern part. And across the state,